to that. Previously, I believe, when Ben Espy ran, he was rated more highly than his opponent, who I believe was Justice O'Donnell, and yet, you know, no traction there. The letter D and R does not appear on the ballot. Why should it be different in your campaign, even though we had a Democratic, sea change here in the last election? No Supreme Court judge who's a Democrat.
Well, I think the Democratic sea change helps us and it energizes our party, and to have the governor and Chris Redfern here, I think, speaks volumes about the commitment of the Democratic Party to judicial races, not only to mine, but there are many people that are running down even further. Where judges are at the end of the ballot, that doesn't help us because there is a huge drop-off. One of my quests when I was state bar president was to work with the League of Women Voters to make sure that we had full and complete credentials, bios, and that those candidate questionnaires were broadly disseminated. The problem is that we need money to do that. Other states, every single voter receives a voter guide. So that's something that I push, and I think if we had voter guides, people would understand and do the responsible thing and say, okay, now I know who this person is. I will go down the ballot, and I will complete the ballot and vote for a judicial candidate. It's more education than anything else.
Judge, you quoted Chief Justice Moyer. One of his crusades as he gets ready to leave office is changing the way justices are elected in Ohio, perhaps to go to an appointment and retention system. Are you satisfied with the way justices are elected now through partisan nomination and then appearing on the ballot without party identification, or do you think it should be changed?
Well, actually, my personal opinions don't bear a whole lot on this because it's up to the people of Ohio. The people of Ohio have voted at least 3 times that I recall against a merit selection system. The people of Ohio told us they don't want to lose their right to vote. So I think as a bar association leader, we got that message and we started working on doing other things that we could do to help make judicial elections more inclusive and more balanced and more open. Public financing is something that needs to be looked at. It's been very successful in North Carolina, but we have a budget issue, so we have to be realistic about that. Increasing the credentials is something that when I was a young lawyer, I came down here to the General Assembly and tried to increase the requirements for a judge so that you actually had tried some cases, argued some appeals before you could be on the ballot. But I think in the end, even if you don't go to a merit selection retention system and you cannot put caps on third-party expenditures, you take care of some of the problems that we've experienced in Ohio at the back end, and that is with a stronger recusal rule. And I was very disappointed that members of our Supreme Court had an opportunity to pass a stronger recusal rule last year when we redid our model rules. That was on the table. It was taken off. As a member of the House of Delegates of the American Bar Association, we're going to be studying that for the model rules in February. So I intend to bring it back to the court's attention.
You're a Democrat, or are you playing more low-key in that regard?
Well, I'm a lifelong Democrat, and I'm proud to be a Democrat. I am also a lawyer and a judge, and I'm bound by the Code of Professional Responsibility and the judicial canons. I have run a race where I am allowed to give my party label on literature after the primary, and I have run a race where I was not allowed to do it. I will tell you my personal preference is, I think the people of the state should know what your party is. But I follow the rules. I'm a good judge. And if the Supreme Court continues, as you know, when the model, our new rules were passed, that prohibition on putting your party affiliation after the primary was not in the rule. And within a relatively short period of time, the justices reconvened and put it right back in. It's hard to explain on the camera.